Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this is going to be a Diablo 4 video. We are on the beta right now, and there is an absolutely crucial setting that you have to go into the menus and make sure you enable. It's not enabled by default. It should be because it's that important. So I am going to show you what this setting is, explain why you need to enable it because it will definitely help you play and learn the game more effectively. And then while we're here, we will go through the menus and talk about some other options as well, just to make sure you're getting the game set up exactly how you would like. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so what I'm talking about is right here. When I mouse over this weapon that I've got here, it is going to be showing me obviously all of the rolls and stats on it. And I'm going to highlight the important legendary power that I have right here where you see it says you may have one additional Hydra active, but Hydra's duration is reduced by 11%. I have no clue if that's good, bad, what's the range, like reduced by 11%. Does that roll like 10 to 30? What is going on here? I don't understand. I'm trying to hit shift, control, alt. I don't know. There's no denotation here of how to see what that is. So there's got to be an easier way to do this. Well, thankfully, if we hit escape and we go into options, right here under gameplay, there's actually an option that you are going to want to enable, and that is advanced tooltip information. Over on the right side, you can see it says display advanced information on tooltips such as item property ranges, lucky hit chance, etc., etc., etc. But very, very important. So watch what happens when I turn this on, and I like to actually turn on advanced tooltip compare as well. So look at the difference when I turn both of those on. I click save, I back out, and now when I pull up that same item, look at this. There's a lot more information there. There's a lot more numbers there. And if I go to that same ability, now you see that it shows the range afterwards of 10 to 13 for the roll range, and it actually lists it in opposite order because this is kind of a weird one where you would actually want a low roll. So the best roll would be the 10 and the 13 would be the worst roll. Because this item is kind of like golf. The lower the score, the better, because it's reducing the duration. It's a negative effect. So ideally, we want to get as close to 10 as possible. So this one rolled an 11, and now because I enabled that option, I'm able to see that right there because of enabling that tooltip. It should probably be the default in my opinion. But anyway, you definitely want to go into your gameplay options and turn that on for sure, in my opinion. And then I can go through the menu and talk about some other stuff here that I've observed during the closed beta. So I used to have this on full screen and the fully cracked out, 1440p and all of that, but the game doesn't seem like it's perfectly optimized yet during the closed beta. There's some different areas where you kind of explore and different things that you're doing where all of a sudden it starts really chugging. I was streaming and it was literally lagging my stream. Like it was lagging my streaming software, like my whole computer. There's like memory leaks and stuff going on. And I noticed that it got a lot better for me when I switched to a windowed full screen and then just lowered the settings a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but lowered some stuff like the resolution from 100 to 90 and stuff like that. So worth trying out, especially if you don't have an absolute legend god to your PC. Maybe go through and adjust some of those things just to make it a little bit easier on you until the game is a little bit more crisp and perfectly optimized. There's also a pretty noteworthy setting in here under gameplay. If you scroll down and go to display player highlight. So what this is going to do is highlight your character. Some people like this. Some people hate this. It's just going to be up to your personal preference. But this is going to give you, see this little shade right here that now my character has to make it a little bit easier to follow on the map when it's, in a dark dungeon or with a bunch of enemies around and all of that. So maybe, ask yourself if you want to enable that or not. Some people love it. Some people hate it. And you can see there that I did change it from a green outline and glow to now a blue. You can do that. So you can also adjust it if you would like it to be a different color and all that. It's very simple. You just go in that gameplay and you go down to the player highlight color. It's going to default as like a greenish type of color as you saw before, but you can definitely slide this around and adjust it if you would like to change the color more to your liking. And this is definitely paramount and super important. If any of you out there are RPG, ARPG, MMO, PC gamer veterans, you are going to be familiar with how important it is to have the force move key enabled. And the game, at least by default in the Diablo 4 beta, you can see right up there up top, it does not have a default force key move. So you are probably going to want to go in there and change that in the controls so that you have a way to move unimpeded by enemies when there's a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes you don't want to be stopping and clicking on something to do your default ability. You want to be able to move through things smoothly with a force move key. So definitely consider that. I have it showing what it is like on default when you install the game, but I actually like to have mine as C. So that is my typical force move key that I've done in most games, because it's kind of like right there by my pointer finger, the way that my finger sits on the keyboard. I can just hit that C key and force move. So that's what I like personally, but you'll have to, again, tailor that to your settings and what you like and how you like to play. And there was also a text to speech option in here. Now I have tried this a little bit, and what I did was I set it to do text to speech on just whispers. That way when someone whispers me, it kind of stands out and I make sure that I notice it. It's interesting. It's all right. Some of you are probably going to like it, and some of you are probably really going to hate it. It's definitely a little bit immersion breaking. So, but that option is there. You know, some of you that want to make sure you don't miss a whisper or
whispers. Scorpius STVDUBZZ says it shows you online in Kiev. My bad. End of line.
You see that? So okay, it happened. Somebody whispered me while I was actually live on video, and you got to see kind of what it sounds like. So I believe they have a couple different options here for voice and all of that, or they have just the male and female here. But anyway, I don't know. I probably don't super like it, but that is there if you want to have a text to speech on certain things that pop up in your chat window. Also, right here, this action wheel, this is extremely important. So there's actually a quest pretty early in the game, and you have to use your action wheel to cheer some soldiers, and a lot of people get confused. Like, how do I interact with these soldiers and how do I cheer? Well, you actually have to hit E to activate this wheel right here, and you have to scroll over where it says cheer right here on the bottom right, and you have to do that next to those soldiers. And then when you do that, you'll kind of inspire them and you'll complete the quest and all that. But that's not the only reason that the wheel is important. There's lots of other things that are very important about the wheel, and most notably being able to inspect and interact with other players. And I know some people get confused by that as well. Like, how do you interact with other people? I can't right click on them. I can't click on them. Like, how do I interact with other people? You see, when I mouse over somebody, it pops up the E key. Well, that is that wheel. So when I hit E, now I can do things with that character right here. So this is another person. I can invite them to party. I can invite them to trade. I can open up a chat to whisper them. So that is how you interact with other people that you see in the world. You mouse over them, and then you open up this wheel, and that will allow you to also inspect them and be able to see what other people are doing in terms of build that you see in the environment, which can be really handy if you're doing the world boss. You can try to inspect some other people or chat with them to party up, and you can see what builds people are running and kind of slowly learn the game by seeing what else is out there and what other people are doing by inspecting and all that type of stuff. And while we're on the subject of chatting and different settings and different type of stuff, just a really quick thing that will help your quality of life, especially if you're new to Diablo. Some of the commands in chat will help you out a lot, like hitting enter and tabbing through the different ways to interact with your chat window. You can hit the tab key to go through these, and you can also hit /R and then space to reply to the last person. And there's lots of things like this. I don't want to bore you and go over chat commands for 10 minutes, but those are just a couple super important things to understand if you are newer to the Diablo and Battle.net community. But anyway, the main gist and the main reason that I wanted to do this video here on the channel was just to make sure that you are not missing out on being able to see these roll ranges and be able to understand what is going on and if these items are rolling good or bad, and being able to see the actual numbers behind the items themselves by making sure to go in and enable that advanced tooltip setting. But yeah, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Diablo 4 content, and I will see you soon in the next video. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.